Welcome to Boobalicious. This podcast is about breast cancer, but not in the way you've ever heard it before.
We widen the conversation to include all things health and wellness, long after those appointments stop.
We bring expert guests and real conversations. I'm Chris, a breast cancer survivor, mom of two.
I'm Jenni, a physical therapist specializing in breast cancer.
Join us and subscribe. Okay, I have such a crazy story.
Okay.
It involves all the things, anxiety, scanxiety.
I know your last few weeks have been a little rough.
Yes, I had some like weird blemishes, things that were like just popping up on my body, and I just happened to have my 6-month review with my oncologist.
Okay.
So she checked it out, and she's like, "Those are weird. I haven't gotten a scan or any sort of checking besides blood work in 15 years. They don't do scans on me because I had radiation." And unless I have a symptom, she doesn't want to do them.
Okay.
So my oncologist ran all the blood work and they came back abnormal, my tumor markers.
And had that happened to you at all this past 15? Ooh, okay. That must have felt scary.
So scary. I mean, in a state of, even when I was in the office, Jenni, talking to her, and she was talking to me about the word scan and we're going to do all these blood tests. I felt my world like slow down, like I couldn't breathe. Like I had to remind myself to take a deep breath. I had to, it's like that weird thing that comes like you're like in this tunnel. It's the craziest feeling when you've had a trauma.
Yeah.
It's probably like, I'm sure our listeners could, little PTSD vibes. Yeah. And like, oh my God, am I here again?
I have full body goosebumps just listening to, can't imagine being in that room. And yes, all of the thoughts of before coming up, what you went through, all of the fears.
It is interesting because when I was in there and she was telling me about I should do a scan, and the last time I did a scan when I was diagnosed 15 years ago, like I said, when I felt myself really trying hard to breathe because it felt, it's interesting because I thought to myself, this is the exact same feeling I had when she said, you have breast cancer and we're going to have to do chemo and all the things. And I just came back exactly 15 years later to that feeling in my chest, in my like ears, in my throat. It was crazy. So,
and it's so wild how, because 15 years have passed, you've grown a lot, you've learned a lot. Like you're not the same person you were 15 years ago. However, when those words come out, it's like you are back and you are that version of Chris.
That version of Chris again. Like you think you're so evolved or that, you can deal with things in a better fashion, but your nervous
in that moment,
your nervous system just goes right back. And it was interesting that I knew it, and I was like, what? I felt the exact, and I was making myself aware
that that's different actually than the first time.
Yeah, I'm like, this is exactly where I was before, and so then she said, let's do some extensive blood tests too. And I was like, okay, sure, let's see, So she did the blood tests, and then I think I told you last week that some of them, my tumor markers came back abnormal. And that alone, again, that heaviness on your chest and the breathing and freaking out. So I said, what's the next steps? And she said, well, we were going to do the CT scan anyway because of those marks and stuff that we wanted to make sure. And she's like, so that would be my next step anyway. So I was a scattered mess. What I do when I'm stressed is I clean. It's weird.
Okay. So your house is like sparkling right
now. With the counters and doing the bathrooms, and my husband and oh my God, my set, they're like, okay, mom's stressed. And just sad at the thought that, this could be again where I am. But it's interesting. So then I decided last second to book a trip because my son's leaving for college and I wanted to like really just connect with him before he leaves. Just the four of us, just my family. And
Mhm.
we went literally 5 days before I just booked this trip. Just
Okay.
like random hotel. We wanted to go to Hawaii, random hotel because I was freaking out. I needed to calm down and center myself. And it's interesting because without mentioning any names, I had showed up at the hotel, and lo and behold, our room is right next to a friend of mine who, I wasn't that not tight with, but
Mhm.
been at some dinners and stuff. And she had just gone through a major loss. And
Oh, got it.
so I was like, okay, why? It's interesting. Like I came for this reason to bond,
Mhm.
to go through the grief or
Mhm.
the anxiety and try to get through it,
Be with your family, really ground yourself.
ground
Right.
myself. And I felt and was there for probably a different purpose,
Mm.
which I thought I was just, okay, God put me in this situation to be of service to somebody else. But but what I realized when I came back, it really put things in perspective for
So,
me.
did she share a lot of her grief with you? Like,
Yeah.
did you spend time with her? You did?
I
Okay.
did. I
Okay.
did. And I was just like, okay, this is kind of comical that I'm here for her when I thought I was coming for
Yeah.
me and my
Like,
family.
no, excuse me. My world is upside down right now.
I was like in a beautiful cabana staring at the
Oh,
ocean while my friend was like in
oh,
grief and crying, and
oh, it's so hard.
nothing compared. I
Hmm.
mean, compared to what I was going through, mine's nothing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so interesting. And at first I'm like, okay, I'm there. God put me here to be of service to somebody else
Hmm.
because she was alone. And what I
Right.
realized, and hindsight is 2020, coming back, I just got back like a week ago, and coming back, it really took that fear from me. It helped me put things in
Wow.
perspective. So the
Oh
long,
my, full body chills again. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
goodness.
So the long and short of the story is
Yeah.
I had my scan review
Okay.
with Philomena, my oncologist. I think I mentioned that here a lot last night at 5 o'clock. And so I get on there and I'm like, of course, people are like, my good friends are like, are you nervous? And I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not really that nervous compared to, there's something
Okay.
that happened in Hawaii
There was a switch.
there was a
Something. Okay.
switch compared to who I normally was.
Hmm.
And maybe because I was being of service to somebody else, and maybe because I was able to put things in perspective subconsciously or
Hmm.
something. So I'm on the thing and she's like, okay, let's go through your scans. And she's like, well, I was getting a full body scan. And she's like, your abdomen and your pelvis, there's nothing. It's clear. It's negative. And I was like, great. She's like,
Okay.
but for some reason,
Oh gosh.
they did not scan my lungs and my chest. And that's what she was worried about. They fucked up.
Oh.
So I went in, and it's funny. I
Oh
went,
my God.
yes. So I went in, I had to get the contrast, the IV, the dye. I fasted, I did all the things. And this woman that was there, she was like young. She must have been like 30. And I
Okay.
was like, whenever I'm going to get a needle, I always question who's giving how long have you been here? Oh, all the like jokes. Like, you must have poked a lot of people. Like,
Right.
so, do you have a light touch? Like all the
Right.
things, right? And she says to me, oh, no, no, I'm visiting. And she's like, I'm a travel person. And she's like, you're my first client,
Oh God.
this facility. And I was like, oh my God. My gut said, leave now. Don't
Hmm.
do this. But then I'm also like, I had just fasted had to do it for 4 hours, not drinking any water, not drinking any coffee, like nothing. And
Hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm here. So I even said to her, and I thought I was being my best advocate. I said to her, I'm like, do you have any? Because she poked me once and she couldn't get it in.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not really
Not so
helping in the confidence
fun.
department.
And so I said, okay. I was like, do you have anyone else just to kind of monitor and help? maybe someone, I go, my experience has been the people that can't get it in the first time, it's always, it keeps
It,
going
yeah, it gets
wrong.
worse
And
and worse. Yep.
yeah, so I'm like, I just, maybe just a fresh pair of hands and eyes. So she got this other woman who was lovely, this Russian woman, and she was like very nurturing and
Mm-hmm.
older, which I tend to like better. And she did the IV. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. So this other 30-year-old was doing my scan
Okay.
and my IV, and she's new to the facility. She's
Mm.
traveling. She's from Utah. So yeah. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. I do it. I lay down. And I was like, this is, a breeze, whatever. And so yeah, I have to go
Oh,
back.
so, okay. So we know that your abdomen and pelvis are great. We
Yeah.
still don't know what's going. Okay. Oh my God.
So
So
it's
how
not
do you
funny, but the
feel
old
the
Chris would be pissed. The new Chris,
yeah.
15-year plus Chris from having breast cancer,
Mhm.
is just like, okay, well, half of it's okay. But you were that
Wow.
normal. And now, so my oncologist is blaming it on the schedulers. The schedulers are blaming on the oncologist,
No
whatever.
one wants to take responsibility.
I'm like,
Yeah.
just get it right. Get me in there quick, Lee, and let's figure this out. I just want to make sure, the waiting. That's what I want to talk about because
Yeah. And so I was going to ask that actually. So now you don't have a date yet, right? They're still working on when you go in for the rest.
yeah.
Is your house going to be a sparkling can we eat off the floors of your house, you think? Or how do you feel?
I think the house was being cleaned before Hawaii.
Mhm.
I think I'm good now. I don't know. I just the fear just left after. It's so weird. I need to call her and thank her for doing,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in a way, I don't know. It's a touchy subject, but she did give me a gift and I feel fine about it. Maybe intuitively, I just don't feel like there's anything wrong. I will
Yeah. Yep.
obviously keep you updated if there is something in my lungs, but I don't
Yeah.
know. But this whole, it's a lot for people to, I don't know what the remedy is for. I know that this is a subject when people
Hmm.
are about to get scanned or in the process of waiting for the scan to be reviewed
Hmm.
and trying to center yourself, ground yourself. Yeah,
Bethany, my guru, cancer, she has meditations on her website for Scanxiety in particular. So we'll put those in the show notes.
that's great. I mean, for me, when I was getting scanned, and I was nervous about these two women, but well, one of them,
Hmm.
I was definitely in for me, prayer works.
Hmm.
And I look at that as like
Yeah.
meditation, or
Yeah.
I was definitely picturing where the scan was going. And you guys can see on YouTube, we have a YouTube station too, that it was light. It was,
Okay.
going through like a golden halo
Hmm.
around, and up and down. I don't know. Maybe that also helped. I think, like
Hmm.
we just spoke on our last podcast, people think it's a one size fits all and then you're done and whatever. But all these practices, it's a daily habit we have to get into to live our
You're
best
right, because we
self.
were talking about how we want things one and done. Like we want the
Yeah.
quick fix. We don't want to really put in the work, whether the work is around exercising or meditation or any of those sorts of things. I just
I-
started
uh,
today. As I also have talked about, I'm this constipated lady over here, and I'm working
uh,
with a naturopath to fix that. And I met with her last night, and she said, well, something else we could talk about is your nervous system. Do you find, stress can definitely affect that? And so I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. I find myself during the middle of the day, certain parts of the day, realizing I've been holding my breath. And it's not that there's been an incident. I'm just like working, I don't know, working in a state of fight or flight, even
yeah.
though there's no reason for it. So I am now trying, per her suggestion, every like 25 to 30 minutes, I'm setting a reminder to just do three slow breaths. And I have to say, I am loving it. Like my fear originally is like, "Oh, I'm going to lose my train of thought. I have ADHD. I get off task so easily. Once I'm in task, I want to stay there." But the just thinking about those three breaths has been a shift. But check back with me in a week, see if I'm still doing this.
I think that's the long and short of it. I think we
Yeah.
all, as consumers of everything, we want everything fast and we want
Yes.
it to work. But I think the older we get, the
Hmm.
more we have to do, and the consistency is.
Hmm.
Like I said, lately, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the confusion, but I've had to like drag myself to the gym. And some days, like today, I didn't. I
Hmm.
just didn't. But I feel so much better after doing a yoga class
Yeah.
with the meditation. But I don't know why. I'm in a funk where I can't get there.
Right. And then I struggle with the should I just be gentle with myself that I'm in a funk? Or do I beat myself up, which is probably never the answer, but or do I beat myself up and try to force myself to do these things?
I know.
I get stuck there.
It's such an ebb and flow, I feel
Yeah.
like. And I think you do have to be great. You have to give yourself grace.
Hmm.
But there is a time when you need like a kick in the ass.
Right, exactly. When does grace turn into now I'm just being lazy? I think,
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a question though. Back to when you were in Hawaii. I don't even know if this detail matters, but did the friend know what you were going through at the time, or did you just keep that to yourself because she brought enough trauma for four people?
I believe I touched on it very lightly because
Okay.
she's like, "What made you come?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm dealing with a little, I'm sure it's fine, but a
Mm.
little
Mhm.
health scare." No,
So you
I
kind of
didn't.
underplayed how much it had been on your mind. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that if there is any remedy for getting through fear or whatever, I do think being of service and helping someone else out
Mm-hmm.
really helps. And my husband's AA sober forever. I mean, that whole program is based on helping people and being of service to
Yeah.
get, through addiction. So I don't know. I'm gonna just put it towards fear too, that
Hmm.
maybe helping someone else, maybe distracting yourself in such a positive light.
Because I guess that also, when we're stressed, we are just thinking about ourselves, our predicament, our world. And then I guess to have someone else come in and be like, well, it could actually be like this, like to kind of open your mind.
Because
Um,
yeah, because
I
when
think
we're
it's
focused
interesting.
on ourselves, we're
Hmm.
in our own head. We're
Hmm.
definitely telling ourselves the worst version of the story that we could possibly imagine. And I don't know why. Why do we tell ourselves
Yeah.
the worst version? Is it to prepare ourselves in case because we're afraid of we don't want to hear it for the first time. We want to hear it in our head for the first time.
I know for me personally, if I'm worried about a situation and I go through the worst case and come up with a plan I think I can live with, that feels helpful. But sometimes there isn't, like when I sometimes say, between my senior dog and my senior parents, I feel like I'm just waiting for someone to die. And that's kind of a terrible way to live? So there's
Yeah.
nothing I can
Oh,
plan out of that. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
fear is real.
Hmm.
Everyone's going to face it. There's no way to really always get rid of it. It's not a one and done thing, but I do think that focusing, in the in between, focusing on other people, how you can help other people get you out of your head and focusing on yourself. And then I think that there's a happy medium, maybe making a plan. Like for me, with talking to Philomena, I wasn't thinking about worst case scenario, maybe
Okay.
because I saw worst case scenario
Right.
when I was in Hawaii, um, and mine did not compare. So I was thinking about what am I going to do
Hmm.
after this call? Who am I going to call? So for me, that was very last night. This is last night. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm going to call my husband. I'm not going to call my parents because if there's something wrong, it was just if there's something wrong, not the degree of it. Just if there's
Yes,
something
I see.
wrong, I'm going to call Dave, my husband.
Yep.
I'm not going to
Yep.
call my parents because they're 80s and I don't want
Mhm.
to worry. I wouldn't even tell them. So I was thinking of a
Trying to make some
plan.
plans. Yep.
Yeah. And who I'm going to call, but that was really it, not really detailed.
Right. Right. Yeah. No,
So,
that's nice because that's also keeping you more in the minute or more in the moment, right? Like versus
yeah,
now thinking, what do I do? XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
exactly. Well,
Oh, well, I guess you'll
so
keep us posted.
I will keep you posted on part 2 of the lung scan, and I hope maybe this helps some people in this scenario that I'm right there with you, going through it,
Yeah.
meditation, deep breaths, try to really just dig into someone else's life and help them out. I don't know.
I think that's beautiful. I
Yeah,
appreciate you sharing that.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Jenny. See you
We'll
next
talk
time.
soon. Okay.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you for joining us today on Boobalicious. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this with a breastie who needs it. And also, don't forget to support our sponsors. We donate a portion of the proceeds to a charity that supports cancer patients in need. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to DM us on Boobalicious Pod. We welcome all questions and topic suggestions.
The conversations on Boobalicious are based on personal experiences and professional insight, but they are not intended to replace your medical advice. Always consult your doctor or licensed healthcare provider for medical guidance specific to your situation.